obviously the mayor wants to run
Right.
right again, and obviously in the end, I really feel like it's going to work in his favor regardless. You know,
Yeah.
only because of just the way he does politics. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the way he maneuvers things, and it's his brother Nick Spano that's really pulling strings and doing what he has to do.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I hear Nick is the real mayor.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
Good afternoon, folks. I am Freddie Vasquez. Unfiltered. This afternoon, Natasha and the Spanos. Good afternoon, folks. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Let's talk about Tasha Diaz and the Spanos. What's going on there? Do they like Tasha? Do they not like Tasha? Do they want her to run again? Do they want her to be reelected? I'm not sure. If I had to take a guess, I would say no. They don't want Tasha elected again. They don't. I mean, Vinny Spano has done things to, only hurt her chances by giving information. They allowed her to go off the night of the term extension meeting, making her look very, very bad, right? Insulting her own constituents. And they allowed that to go on without stopping it. And so I'm hearing now rumors from sources that they don't want her to win. They're not really supporting her. What do you think? Tasha here with the man himself, the real mayor of Yonkers, Mr. Nick Spano. Nice, the Gucci shoes, Nick? Gucci loafers there, looking all dolled up with her 2-finger ring and gold teeth and ain't afraid to hold heat. Sorry, it's my hip-hop days. She looks like a hip-hop star. Mary J. Blige with the platinum blonde hair at times. And this is her benefactor, Nick Spano, the real mayor of Yonkers, the owner of Empire Strategic Planning, the lobbying firm that has just about every developer here in Yonkers under contract. This is a problem. This picture is a problem. And I've posted other pictures with our majority leader and the mayor of Yonkers, Nick Spano, the unofficial mayor. Remember, Tasha Diaz was the one that flip-flopped on the housing ordinance after she was for it all the way. The mayor, Mike Spano, younger brother to Nick Spano, vetoed the legislation introduced by Shanae Williams, Mike Cater, and Tasha Diaz. And she didn't go against it. So when she had the opportunity to override the mayor's veto and say, hey, I represent the people, this is what the people want, and we're going to give the people what they want, she failed the people. But she had to. Nick Spano represents AMS, Ginsburg, and others, and they're putting up residential luxury apartments. They can't have this 20% ordinance. AMS's Teutonia is not even having 5%, let alone 20%. And they paid Nick Spano big bucks to assure that our council members do as he says and do what's best for them, the developers. Imagine 20%. That means the Teutonia would have had to set aside 180 units for those who qualify for affordable housing. But it didn't pass. And they're getting away with less than 10% at only 45. AMS has these politicians in their pocket, whether it's contracts through Nick Spano's Empire Strategic Planning whether it's John Rubo, the chair of the real estate committee, they are his landlord, or it's Vinny Spano controlling the council, or Zahi Jeris is involvement with the building department. And that is why they had Sam Borelli appointed commissioner. It's all about the developers. The unofficial mayor represents the developers. You see that? He's the real mayor, as many say, but his only constituents are the developers. And that's a problem, folks. I wanted to dissect what Mayor Mike Spano, former GOP turn. Actually, you know what? That's the wrong pad. I want to talk about Tasha Diaz's relationship with Nick Spano, Mike Spano, and Vinny Spano in particular. Tasha Diaz came out of nowhere. She was a community activist, I guess, or leader. She would go around to various, buildings with Virginia Perez. She learned the ropes, how to get votes out of these buildings, these low-income and affordable buildings, affordable housing buildings. She's the tennis, was or maybe still the president of the tennis association at her building. That's how she got linked up into politics. Zahi Jeris backed her, wanted to get into politics after getting out of jail. And so he needed to show the Spanos that he still had the steam, the juice. He can get anyone elected, including Tasha Diaz. And that's what he did. But now the Spanos don't want Tasha. However, Zahi Jeris does. He has a thing for Tasha, and I don't mean, romantic thing, just something where he really cares about her. He expressed that to me himself. And so they're going to have this little battle, but it's a friendly battle. Zahi Jeris and the Spanos have always had this little political friendly battle where they run their candidate, he runs his candidate, but ultimately those candidates are puppets who will do as they say. It's just a matter of which one is going to be the one. And so now they're having this little battle again because the Spanos don't want Tasha. Tasha is hooked up with all the political underlings. And this is important. You see Brian Harrod, Yonkers Newswire, posting this pic just recently, Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day lunch with community activist Lorraine Lopez and Yonkers City Council Majority Leader Tasha Diaz. For all those who have been attacked by Brian, if you've ever mentioned Tasha Diaz or even Lorraine Lopez, then now you know why he's attacked you. And a lot of people, this is the in crowd here. See Matt Gallagher at her little event. Matt Gallagher, city or corporate council. Behind the balloon, there's Jose Alvarado. And Mark Fang, who I hear now will be running against Ruth Walter in the Democratic primary for County Legislative District 15. He is a Spano loyalist. And they're looking to probably remove James Nolan. And the thing is that James is not going to say nothing. His family, the Nolans, are not going to say nothing about it because they got jobs. And they're going to stay quiet because they want to keep those jobs, even if they push James out of politics. They just wanted to get Walter out. Excuse me, it's not with an S, right? And they did. Zahi Jeris does not like Ruth for whatever reason. He despises the woman. And they utilized James Nolan to do that. Now that she's out, James Nolan is in. They want to replace Nolan. Because Nolan will do as they say, but also Nolan, he has this side of him that wants to do the right thing, right? And he'll put out letters, send them to the Albany, to the state, and, for various reasons. And I don't know if that always aligns with the Spano machine's, plan. Recently, he sent a letter up in regards to the zoning changes that are going to be happening all over, everywhere, in order for buildings to be put up near anywhere there's a train station. So it doesn't matter if there was, it's an area zone, not for, certain height of buildings, a certain number of units. They're going to do it anyway now, disrupting, residential communities single family homes. And he wrote a letter to the state for that. But that's not what the Spanos want. You can't be doing that, James. We got to get Mark Fang in there. Mark Fang is quiet. He doesn't say much. He will do as told. So there he is. He didn't even get a seat. But that's okay because he will stand there for you if he has to. So this is Tasha Diaz's event. There she goes at the Insult to the Hispanic Community event. And I just put this because I wanted you to see who are the individuals that like her post. And on the Yonkers Newswire, Zahi Jerris, Susan Salem, Zahi Jerris's sister, the one that found 18 ballots mysteriously when Nick Spano almost lost to Senator Andrew Stewart Cousins the first time she challenged him. He just won by those ballots that Susan Salem, the sister of Zahi Jerris, happened to find in a duffel bag. Isn't that something? And the Yonkers Public School, I see, follows the Yonkers Newswire, one of the most disgusting news bloggers and sites out there. But I guess the Yonkers Public Schools feels that they are worthy of being followed and liking their posts. They have insulted, harassed, cyberbullied Yonkers Public School employees, have made sexual references, and have posted sexually explicit pictures of Yonkers Public School employees, administrators. I'm very saddened to see that you guys are following and liking this guy. But it's Yonkers, right? Jeffrey Meyer, the guy who heads up Ridgeway Alliance Church. Love you both so much. This is the comment he left for them. Exactly 3 years ago, you two and my wife Sylvia were praying for me at my deathbed. Enormous gratitude. Had nothing to do with God. It's Tasha Lorraine. Jeffrey Myers is the one that hooks him up with those food distributions and will defend them. And I guess I see why. It was their prayers that saved your life, Jeffrey. So I see why you make yourself look foolish on Facebook responding to people who criticize Tasha. You and I know both that they utilize those food drives to get votes. And if they don't, then why do they ask for that information? Why do they ask for their address and emails, phone numbers? How are you, Zahi, doing? Hey, you guys are friends. Again, just to show you the people like David Tubiolo, Councilwoman likes her own page, Lenny Spano, Nick Spano, and Brandy Nickel, who's part of them, who attacked me and my wife. I don't know her. She doesn't know my wife. She doesn't know me really, but she works for them, and she will attack you, and she has attacked other people in the most disgusting ways. And you can try, Tasha, but we still going to succeed. I get it. I know what this is about. I just want to show it. She'll get it. Are they still doing the hookah lounges there at the child care place? Chaco, City Court Judge, Tasha Diaz, and Lorraine Lopez. So these are part of Tasha's circle, the elites. There's Eleanor Spano, hugged up with our city council majority leader. How can we feel confident that she will represent the people, truly represent the people, and does not represent the Spanos? How can you trust that, District 3? And it affects everybody in the city of Yonkers because she makes votes, or she introduces legislation, I guess, and votes on legislation that impacts us all here in the city of Yonkers. And do you not think that she is working on behalf of the Spano administration? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, if this person represented the team that you were against, and she represented the team that you were on, and you saw this, what would you think? John Rubo. These two were together at Trevor Park, handing out food, and that's it. This is Tasha's husband, I'm imagining, LBCSEA president. Tasha Diaz, again, Tubiolo, Susan Salem, Melissa Borelli. I don't know if she's the daughter or the wife of Sam Borelli. I think she's the daughter of Sam Borelli. She works in, or maybe the daughter-in-law of Sam Borelli, and she works in Tasha's office now. And what does that mean for you and your access to the building department, Tasha? Rocco D. Rose, I hear, maybe going for District 4 and possibly Janai Wallace. Let them fight it out, right? They don't care. And that's why you see Janai Wallace at meetings supporting the Spano term. And the chief of staff, who is chief of himself because she has no staff other than Brenton Bullock. And I guess we see where he spends his $93,000 in fancy schmancy clothes. Is this a politician or is this a celebrity out in Hollywood? But I guess we are the Hollywood on the Hudson now. Get it, girl. Get it, girl. This is what our representatives look like. And again, the political elites. See this man here, Hector Lopez, the brother of Lorraine Lopez. And now why is corporate counsel out here? He looks bored, but he looks like he had to attend. Why is corporate counsel here? So folks, I wanted to show that because it's important to see the connections of these individuals, who they hang around with, why they do what they do, why they make the decisions that they make, who they truly represent, what is their agenda, what is their goals. Politics is show business for ugly people, yeah. It's sad because they're supposed to represent people, especially those who don't have a voice, and they let them down. If you want to be for self, get into business, start a business, and be for self. How can they allow a former convicted politician to be involved with city contracts? How does that work? Well, when you have judges that are corrupt because they've been appointed by these individuals, and then now you have to go to a judge to get a letter saying that it's okay for you to, as a felon, be licensed to conduct business in the city of Yonkers or anywhere as a real estate agent. That's how it happens. When I got my license out in Wall Street, they look for fraud and convictions like that. And if, you have things like that, you're not going to get licensed. You can't, be trusted with other people's money. See, I didn't have judges. So if I couldn't get my license, I was just SOL, if you know what that means. But not the Spanos. They know how to maneuver. Good grief. That's right. So, I put a bunch of text messages, some more from Vinny Spano's eye, and I want to be very clear why I post these text messages. Vinny Spano is a part of the nepotism system. He is a part of the political corruption. He is not a friendly source. He is not a resident here in the city of Yonkers looking for change. He is a part of the problem. He wasn't one of my reliable sources. He told me information that would benefit ultimately his agenda, his goal. His plan was to utilize my podcast and try to manipulate and influence me into doing what he wanted for his own benefit and the benefit of his brother or brothers. And so that's why I put it up, because I want people to see exactly what politics is about here in the city of Yonkers. And here he's talking about Mike Breen when he decided to run against Nader Sayegh. He says, Dems dominate Albany. He's lucky if he gets a staff member. I know some, particularly Spano haters, would say we put Breen up to it. People were saying that he was only running because the Spanos told him to. Give Nader Sayegh a hard time, make him spend some money, and keep him busy and away from thinking about running for mayor. Then he goes on to say, that's Cater trying to drive a wedge between Spano and the Arab community, and that's the truth, brother. And nothing to do with the Caters. It's all political agenda. Yeah, as if he does not have one. I was hearing that from several people, not John, really because of how close the Breen family was with the Spanos, which they are, very close. Nick Spano works with Patty Breen, doing a bunch of real estate transactions. He goes, yo, last night went well. No, he's talking about our first meeting. I said, yeah, I think it went great. Some of these guys get to see you and know you're not the devil. He's saying that people say I'm the devil. Let's sit with my brother Nick next week. Bring your partner. That never happened. Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade. I said, I saw that. I knew that was going to happen. They want the country divided. He goes, that's terrible for Republicans. I go, good thing no one knows you are a Republican. LOL. He goes, ha ha ha. I'm a Dem brother through and through. And I doubt that. He always supported the Republicans in any election except the ones in Yonkers or the ones he had an interest in. So I don't know if he's really a Democrat through and through. And here he's looking at the police stuff. I guess he has access to this. He goes, did you hear about the guns police recovered earlier today? Is the mayor going to be doing a press conference? And he's posted this picture, I guess a screenshot of some information from police. I don't know if this anyone watching who may know, police officers or anyone who works at the police department. What is that? What is that from? Guess he has access to it. Right. So here's another thing. He was I was talking to him about Dr. Quesada and, the superintendent of Yonkers Public Schools. And Hezi had put an article about Dr. Q not wanting to meet with the mayor in regards to safety in the public schools. The mayor wanted to have a safety assessment done. And according to the Yonkers Tribune, the superintendent refused, which was really surprising to many people, because why would the superintendent not want to assure that our schools were as safe as possible? Right? He goes, I think he will. Hezi's story was off and had a little info, but not all. Hezi thinks we lie about the crime rate and graduation rates. Tonight was really bad night for Republicans. He goes, right. So, yeah, but he's talking about the Dr. Quesada thing. I don't know if you guys remember hearing about that. Let me see what he put what he said about that. Oh, I guess it's in another page. Here, this is when he told me about Tasha Diaz assaulting her stepdad. Now, I don't understand why she wasn't arrested if he knew that she had assaulted her stepdad. It's Tasha. He says, call me. I got some info, scoop. It's Tasha, and it's insane. I say, what'd she do? And this is why I've said, do they really like Tasha? They don't like you, Tasha. They utilized you to sell out your people, to kill the housing ordinance. They fluffed you up. And now they're going to drop you. He says, call me. I just called you. He wanted to tell me all about it. I said, funny how so I went over there, then I texted him back after I said, after I got back from going to see if because he told me where she was at. I go, funny how she immediately said that there was no cameras, right? That there were cameras or that there were cameras. So if something happened, they would have caught it on camera. But we know how that works. We're looking for the cameras on McLean from last August, right? We know how footage disappears here in the city of Yonkers. And so he goes, yeah, that was interesting. You have to find the victim. Apparently no one can find him. He lives with the mother. He's referring to Tasha's mother. Tasha's telling everyone that I sent you to her house. He did. How does she know? And I'm putting this out because I want you to see, Tasha, what I've been telling you. I want you folks to see how politics is. It's disgusting. It's cutthroat. And these people don't care about each other. Those at the very top, the administration uses these individuals, uses these 4 black women, uses them. Did you see the article in the Yonkers Rising? Yes, Tasha was demanding accountability. I did a podcast on it. That's why I asked you about her. Oh, you did? Damn, I wanted to arm you before you did it. He wanted to arm me before I did the podcast on Tasha Diaz, Vinny Spano. Tasha. And him and Zahi are very good friends, Tasha. She spent $2,000 on cookies. Where did she get the money from? Taxpayer money, I hear. That's according to Vinny. He's telling me his brother is in Vegas. Then he's talking about the election that we have now coming up. They may end up with like 7 people in the Democratic primary for mayor. Legit. Unless the mayor runs again, I said, they will drop like flies, but not if then. Yes, it would be a lot. Well, how many will be good? He goes, not many. And I go, that's why I believe the mayor will run again. Maybe there is somebody out there, still have some time. He goes, lots of time. He wanted me to meet with Mike Spano so he would know I'm not the devil. Hey, as my wife and I are looking at your site, I see this post about me. What does that even mean? I'm over here defending you and you do that? I go, which post? He goes, I don't know. It talks about Mike and term limits. See, so he was manipulating and trying to control the narrative on basement politics. He wanted me to put out negative stuff about Tasha and other people, but anything about the term limits, Mike Spano himself, he didn't like. I don't know. It talks about Mike term limits. Has anyone seen Vinny Spano? Did he deliver the ZD? And that's a comment made by a viewer. He hated that comment. Hey, Freddie, I just watched your podcast. What the F? Sorry you have to deal with such nonsense. And this is when I was going through that stuff with, the Yonkers Voice putting out that stuff, but he knew about it. This is just BS. He's trying to BS me. And Brian Harrod. He goes, scumbags. I didn't see what Harrod posted saying shit like that is lower than low. My wife just showed it to me. What bullish. I go, yeah, but I understand. I guess it comes with the territory. Not really, bro. That's over the top. Okay. Just catching up on your podcast, LOL. For your information, Jose Alvarado works for Yonkers Parks. You're effing hysterical on this Jeffrey thing. So, yeah, I mean, this is Yonkers politics. This is what Yonkers politics really looks like. These individuals are not the most professional people. They're not the most qualified, most capable. They are just in politics. They've been in there for so long. They understand how to, rig the system, rig the game. They have maintained power by knowing how to position certain people, knowing how to utilize and manipulate people into doing what they want. And they insulate themselves, right? So they're not the ones signing the documents. They're not the ones introducing the legislation. They're not the one proposing zoning changes and passing it and approving them. No, it's all zoning board, Wilson Kimball, and the puppets there. It's the city council, Tasha Diaz, Lakeisha Collins-Bellamy. Told her to watch out. You're a lawyer, you're an attorney. Be careful. Careful what you're doing. And so these people utilize individuals like Tasha Diaz, and they may know. They may just not care, right? They may not care as long as they get to succeed. I get to be a majority leader. That's who I get to be. I'm gonna roll with it. Whatever you want me to do, Mike. Whatever you want me to do, Vinny. And that's how it goes. I wanted to just go over some stuff for me. I don't know where I put this at, but I don't know. I wanted to the commission open. I don't know where I put that at. Anyway, folks, what time is it? About to be 30 minutes. Yeah, I just want to go over these text messages, right? And just start to begin talking about their relationships. I'm going to get into more details in the next podcast about their relationship and how this, this really works here in the city of Yonkers. There's also some text messages in regards to Corazon. I mean, he says, Corazon called me laughing hysterical about the podcast that I did on Tasha Diaz with the information that he gave me. They don't get along, Corazon and Tasha. They hate each other. So how can they truly work together? And that happens when you put, unfortunately, I've seen this oftentimes, minorities in a certain situation, and it becomes a crabs in a bucket situation where they drag each other down rather than uniting and working together and helping more, people that come from where they come from to succeed. But they don't want that. They want to be the one and only, and everyone else is going to get pushed back down. And so that's been the rift between those four ladies. And it's, you've seen it's been Corazon and Shanae versus Lakeisha and Tasha. And so how do they get anything done? How do they get anything accomplished? How do they truly represent the people effectively, professionally? How can we trust anything that they're doing? How can you vote for these individuals again? How can you re-elect these individuals again? There is no way that they should be reelected. They don't have independent minds. They're not there to better the community they represent. They're there to do as they're told. And that's it. And for that, they get rewarded. Tasha Diaz, her daughter, Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, her family. She has brother-in-laws being promoted in the fire department. Husband going to go to YPD. She may become a city court judge eventually, if she will, right? Corazon's mom, sister, right? So, I mean, they are not going to jeopardize those jobs that they've gotten for themselves and their family members for you guys. No way. No way. It's just not going to happen. And I hope you know that. That's who we have representing us. I feel like I'm living in the Matrix. You are, because it's all a lie, right? It's all a lie. They want you to focus over here while they do what they're doing over there, right? And what's over here, what you're focused on is little events, food distribution. Pretty much it. It's pretty much it. Some grand openings of some businesses that they'll post up until they get elected, and then that's it. And then next election, they back at it again. That's it. But they don't make any real change. Ask Tasha Diaz, why is it that she changed her mind on the affordable housing bill? Why? It's a need for it. And she'll talk in circles. She doesn't even know what she's talking about. Right? And so that's just how it is here in the city of Yonkers. And this is why we have to vote for new blood, new people, but just not just anybody. We have to really, put thought into our votes. Zay orders Nick. Remember, when they both were in prison for bribery and extortion, his wife worked for Nick Spano's baby brother, Mike. Nick gave Zay, his wife, new job for $120,000, which is now $130,000 over at the recycling as a supervisor for being a mole in Mike Cater's office, which she was. She was the one, her and this other person wrote an email or something to that effect, complaining about the work environment after damn near 4 years. Right? When he's about to run for re-election, they have a problem now, right? He has his nephew, Zay, he planted next to Vinny Spano, and his two cousins are planted next to Lakeisha and Mike Spano. Zay knows everything that's happening. The mayor helped Zay plant moles in his own administration. Now Nader and Zay are telling everyone they will take over Yonkers, and Nick Spano can't do anything about it. Maybe Lionsgate will make a movie about the cutthroat. Yeah, maybe. It's definitely a series here. And I've heard this before. I've heard that Zahi Jarris truly has leverage and power over the Spanos. He knows where the skeletons are. Even if they can't go to jail because of, what do you call that? The time has passed. I forget what it's called. Right? Statute of limitations has expired. It's still going to impact them negatively in politics. It will ruin their reputation, their image. If he mentions the affairs, the cocaine use, the corruption and transactions that are going on here in the city with city property and tax abatements that are being handed out. They don't want that to be out. Say he knows all of that. So they have no choice but to accept him back in. I mean, any politician knows a person like Zahi is not good to have around if you're, wanting to keep your reputation clean. But they obviously keep him around. It's no secret he's a two-time felon. He bribed council members before, caused council members to get 6-year sentences. Majority leader got her sent to jail in 2012 for 6 years because he convinced her to change her vote a la Tasha style. I mean, it's deja vu. And we can't be deja vus. We have to see what's happening here. And so she cannot be reelected. That would be foolish. And we must elect a new mayor. It's a must, folks. We have to come out and vote. Lorraine Lopez, Wilson Kimball, Tasha, one of the above. That's someone connected to Tasha because she started that rumor. And the rumor he's referring to is him and Corazon. I know for a fact that now she's mad at me. Yeah, but at one point, Lorraine and Tasha were at odds. Could it be him too? Fat scumbag that he is. And this is how he speaks of Christopher Johnson. Christopher Johnson hates Shanae, though. Whoever it was knew that we were sitting having drinks at the Corazon fundraiser. I don't know if they were there or someone who was there mentioned it. And I'm talking about a message I received about me and Vinny being at a Corazon Pineda's Zupta event. And we were sitting together talking. And so somebody just mentioned, oh, you hanging out, you sitting with, that's your boy, ever calling my boyfriend, right? Chuck was going around taking selfies. So yeah, Chris Johnson and the Spanos have never gotten along. And so that is why they are, hoping Shanae can take him out or, putting him, at least challenging him so that he is busy trying to defend his seat and not focus on getting Mike Spano out of office. Corazon was hysterical watching the podcast. She called me hysterical laughing. I'm sure she probably hates Tasha, I say. She does, he says, LOL. They think Lakeisha is your source. Yeah. So this is the thing where he's referring to Dr. Casada. Is it true the superintendent refused a request by the mayor, a safety analysis? He goes, nah, LOL. Here's the story. The mayor wanted to give money for more security at schools and wanted it earmarked for that. Superintendent basically said, give us the money, but wouldn't 100% agree to more safety officers. So mayor pulled $750,000 back and held it pending a meeting with superintendent. That's the real deal, but don't say that. And this is the city council president. I believe this is her brother-in-law, or one of her brother-in-law, got promoted, fireman. And so let's make it look like we care about black folks. Okay. And this is just some findings from the thing you could watch. But yeah, so folks, that's Yonkers politics. That's the corruption that exists here in the city of Yonkers. We have to end this. We end it by voting. And I don't believe that the mayor or the superintendent, was just being, I don't know, he didn't want to meet with I think what happened there is that the superintendent saying, listen, we have a lot of other issues that we need to prioritize, right? And of course, safety is number one. We want our kids to be safe. God forbid anything was to ever happen to any one of our kids while they're in our care. We don't want that. But we don't need more safety officers. I think we're good there. What we need is a lot more programming, more academics, more quality, everything. HVAC system, so our kids don't wear coats in the wintertime or are melting in the warmer months. That's what we need. We need the playgrounds in the back fixed so the kids aren't tripping over broken concrete. There's just so much more. But as far as safety, I think we're doing good there. And I would agree because I just went to pick up my kids. My son was sick. And it's not like you can just walk in there and do whatever you want. You can't. You're always going to be met by a safety officer. And that's at every school. If I go to Roosevelt to drop my wife's phone off when she leaves it, or I go pick up my kids at their school, always the same. I'm not going to get in there unless a safety officer or two sees me. And so I feel comfortable with my kids there. And so there are other things that are needed. And I think that's the real issue. I think Quesada wanted to put the money somewhere else. And Mayor Spano, probably didn't want to. And maybe probably made some rift just to not even give him the money, right? To cause a fight, right? So, we have to see what's really happening there. We can't just jump to this conclusion and, what the administration says, what the Yonkers Voice says, what the Newswire says. These guys are paid to say what the Spano want you to know, or want you to think, I should say, right? So that's the issue I think that was really happening there. I don't think it had to do with the mayor not caring about our kids' safety. Lionsgate should do a series about the corruption in Yonkers. Yeah, I already got it written out. Got the pilot and everything. I'm waiting for them to reach out to me. Actually, I'm waiting for the show to finish. It's not over yet, folks. So until the show is over in real life, we can't do the show for Netflix, right? They are all Bates married. What does that mean? Tell them to ask Arabic for, okay, I'm going to have to ask. Classrooms without peeling paint and buckets to collect rainwater, absolutely. Or mold on the ceiling tiles, or boarded up doors. That's right. I've had pictures of schools with doors that have pieces of wood boarding them up. I guess the door is working, it's broken. They don't want no one to go through their lockers. Damaged to the point they cannot be used. So why would, Quesada just want to put more money into safety, hire more safety officers? Is it because the mayor has more family members that he needs to give jobs to? And since, there's no more room anywhere else, we have to find somewhere to put them. Or friends, they need jobs, they're kids. Is that what that was about? I'm going to be involved for the first time this year in getting this dude out of here. That's what I love to hear. Thank you. I want to hear more of that. And the people up at the Board of Elections told me that more people have registered to vote for this election, so I'm excited about that. I think people are really tired and say, we got to come out and vote. We got to get these individuals out of here. Spano is not the only chance for progress. He is not the only hope for a better Yonkers. Why do we put all that on him? And they're using a lot of pandemic money to do a lot of these developments. That's why they started all of a sudden going so crazy. Just saying. Meanwhile, people are suffering, homeless. You got people now, families building bus houses or house buses or whatever you call them, and they're living in them. But it looks like fun because they travel all around the country. They're not, tied down to the grind. And I don't know if you guys heard this.
I wasn't there. They didn't let him in. Yeah, what happened with that though? I wasn't there. The union rep Albie, they said they didn't let him in. They let Albie in? Why not? No, they said he was trying to get in. Albie gave the union rep to the Board of Ed, and they didn't let him in. That's crazy. Well, is Albie against it or something? Albie is for the streets. Albie gives out turkeys on every street. So he just wants to be a part of it, have a voice, and they didn't let him in. But was he going to support it or be against it, though? Because he was going to be against it. Oh, that's why they didn't let him in. Yeah.
This is a source telling me about the CSEA president, Albie Velasquez, not being allowed into a meeting to voice whatever he wanted to voice. He was against it. And then he want the CSEA president showing that he is against the terms extension. And so they kept him out. So they say. Folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. I just want to give you a little bit of this. I was just going through my phones and through my stuff that I have, and I'm just like, I got to get a lot of this stuff out. Just put it out there. And look, folks, there's people say, Freddie, you're a journalist. You have to. Honestly, I'm not a journalist. All right. If you want to call me a journalist, that's on you. All right. But you can't hold me to the same standard as a journalist because that's not my goal. My goal is just to put the information out, show you what I find, share it with you. Hopefully you guys can find some things and share with me. And together we can unlock this, corruption and stop it and end it finally once and for all, get justice for people who have been retaliated on and who have, lost their lives because of this political corruption and nepotism. And it's been covered up. We have to end this to get justice for those individuals and stop this already. And so I'm just putting this information out there, whatever I have, I was just going through it. And so I'm not, I've reached out to people. People don't respond back. The elected officials, they don't respond. They won't come on my show for the most part. So I've given up trying to reach out, trying to verify things with them. And they're going to lie anyway, right? They're going to lie. So, I put it out there. I try to verify as much as possible. I do have sources that are reliable that have given me information and they've been on point. So they haven't let me down yet. And so I trust them. I trust their information insiders, veteran insiders who are tired of it, who are pointing me in directions to go look. And I just put it out there. And I'll talk about it. I'll give you my opinion, what I think. But that's it. That's what I do. This is what Basement Politics is about. Just putting out the information, giving you my thoughts on it, right? Hearing your thoughts on it, talking about that. And, and really focusing on coming out to vote, because that's really my goal, is to get people, as many people, to see what is really happening here in terms of our government, what's really happening up in City Hall, why things are being done the way they're being done, why legislation is being introduced, why certain individuals are being appointed, who's who, for those who may not know or familiar with this, so that way they can see that we have to come out and vote change, right? That's what I want. I want people to say, this is crazy. This is unbelievable. And we have to vote this out. These people are all corrupt. They're a group of friends. The council members, the administration, they're like this. They're together. Okay, they're like a little circle of friends. They party with each other. They go to each other's house to have pool parties where fights break out. They drink, they go to Puerto Rico together, or they'll go to Florida together. That's what they do. And they plot and plan how they're going to maneuver. The people are not a priority. And that's just a fact. These people are partying, abusing drugs while managing our city. That's a fact. Why hasn't no one sued me? I've mentioned people using cocaine. Why not? Think about it. I didn't mention Zahi Jarris used cocaine because he doesn't. Not that I know, but I know he likes red wine. It's okay. Right? Because I'm not out here just to accuse people of whatever. I'm here to tell you the truth. No, Zahi doesn't do cocaine. But some of our elected officials do. And they have been high on cocaine while at meetings. That's a fact. That's a fact. Is that the type of government you want operating here in the city of Yonkers? Drug, sex, and rock and roll. That's what they're about. I've seen the parties. I've seen them. On McLean. Getting drunk. High on coke. That's what networking is about in Yonkers. I've done a lot of networking, but Yonkers is very unique. And it's almost like they want you compromised before they will engage you in business. And that is why I said, no, I'm good. I'm doing basement politics. I'm going to put it out there. I'm not with that. I'm not with selling my soul for money. I'm not. I'm not with putting people down, hurting people for money. It's not what I do. It's not what I've done. Not perfect, but I don't do that to people. Engaging in prostitution, engaging in drugs, and then they're out here trying to enforce the law. Yeah, well, you're breaking the law. You broke about 5 laws in a matter of an hour. Politicians there watching, enjoying. I didn't realize that was going to be how it was going to be. I'll be honest. It was quite a sight. Sergeants and captains and businessmen and politicians. Everything was free except the sex. Food, drinks, cigars, free. That's what goes on. That's what goes on. Justin, right? That's what goes on, Justin. Ain't that right, Justin? That's what goes on, Justin. I just wanted to open up daycares. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. Should just let me open up daycares. Why don't you just let me open up my daycare? Yeah, that's right. That's what they're about, folks. I don't care. I'll tell it to them. I'll say to their faces. Right? They're not going to sue me because it's true. It's true. It's true. Yonkers police officers, businessmen, politicians, prostitutes, strippers, whatever you want to call them. On McLean. What do you think about that, folks? What do you think about that? That's what happens. It's happened many, many times. What do you think about that? Freddie, if you were a commissioner in Yonkers, you would have been forced to resign. You don't play those games. They're games. No, I don't. That's why they didn't want to work with me. And all I ever wanted, I don't care. They could, you know, they'll never play anything about me because of any videos, whatever they would record it. But all I've ever wanted was just to help the community. I just wanted not to be messed with at the building department. I said, I'm not for the shakedown. I'm not going to be shaken down. I'll do whatever you need me to do the right way, but I'm not going to be shaken down. All right. And I just want to do stuff for the community. I never once asked for a job. I didn't take the offer of the money when they offered it to me. I said no. Right in Vinny's office. I forgot who was there with me. It might have been the deputy mayor. I forgot which one it was. Right? I said, no, I'm good. It's not what I want. I want to help kids. I want to see people break the cycle of poverty. You know, it saddens me when I see people in, unfortunate situations, whatever the reason. I don't care, right? Because I honestly, it bothers me when people say, well, they're lazy, or they did that to themselves, or they can get a job. I know, yeah, you may be right sometimes, right? But it's a human. It's a human being, man. I don't know, I'm like very weird, I'm very weird. Like I look at people who, who are weaker or in vulnerable situations. I really have a real compassion for them. But people that are in strong positions, like our elected officials, the administration, who are very powerful, I have zero empathy for them. It's very strange. It's very strange. I have zero empathy for them. I don't like bullies. I don't like, how about NEMBLA members living in Woodstock Manor, surrounded by current and retired POLs, what is that? Politicians, polls? Yeah. Who's a member? Is it James Sertival, the consultant for Ginsburg? The guy that pled guilty to sodomizing a 14-year-old boy who he went online looking for, he's a predator. James Sertival, you are a predator. How the hell are you operating in Yonkers, sitting up in the city council chambers? Good friends with Nick Spano. That's how you got that probation, right, James? Your boy Nick Spano threatened to expose the judge. So why would we have sympathy? Nick Spano threatened to expose a judge who was having an affair, the sentencing judge on the James Sertival case, which is why she gave probation instead of time for this predator, for this online predator who I'm sure has done it more than once. And then Dr. Beveridge, who's probably a predator himself, because I can't imagine any sane man would victim shame a 14-year-old boy after he was sodomized by a sexual predator like James Sertival. But Dr. Beveridge, the sociology professor, blamed the boy for being promiscuous, for being aggressive. But what was James Sertival doing on AOL chat rooms talking to 14-year-old boys to begin with, Dr. Redistrict Beveridge? You can't trust that guy. That guy's a Democratic operative for a long time. How the hell did Dr. Beveridge end up redistricting Yonkers? Oh, I know, because the other consultants dropped out. They couldn't do it all of a sudden. Right. The most important election, they had to get Dr. Beveridge in here. They needed to control it all the way, and he's been involved with all the redistricting, some form of fashion. So he victim shames little boys who were molested by adult men. Shame on you, Dr. Andrew Beveridge. Shame on you. You hang out with pedophiles. And I'm sure it's probably them. NEMBLA is an organization of men who think it's okay to have sexual relationships with little boys, in case you didn't know. 100% agree. Yeah, isn't that crazy that this guy is operating here in Yonkers? He's a sexual predator. Pete Mess, he lives in Westchester? No wonder they're all here, if that's true. No wonder. Retired physics teacher at Bronx. Yeah, and a lot of these pedophiles will work around kids, right? They're teachers, they're coaches, karate teachers. You know how many karate teachers have been arrested for sexually abusing a child? That's not uncommon. When I was growing up on Buena Vista, there was this guy who was convicted of sexually molesting kids, and he would walk around with a karate outfit up and down the block, asking kids if he wanted them to, learn karate. But we knew about him. We stayed away from that guy. I was one of those street smart kids, man. You wasn't gonna, if you were gonna kidnap me, you better be prepared to fight, because I was gonna bite you, kick you, everything. You was not gonna take me. That's for sure. Not alive anyway, right? He lives in North Yonkers. Wow. Next to the castle on Sean. So you hear that, folks. The guy who founded the NEMBLA group, which is a organization of sexual predators, child molesters, men who think that it's okay to have sexual relationships with underage boys, lives in Yonkers. Wow. I'm glad you told me. Now I'm going to be telling everybody that. You hear that, folks? NEMBLA is in Yonkers. Wow. Have you ever heard of MAPS? What does MAP stands for? Minor attracted people. People who are attracted to minors. So they think if they give it some, name or label, or what do you call it? We use the letters. I forget that word. It escapes me. If you use something like that, it's going to make it better, right? Like LGBTQ. And I'm just saying they like to give LGBTQ or BLM or, some name that can be marketed. That's what it's all about. It's all psychological, folks. That's what television is all about. Television programming, right? Programming. Subliminal messaging is a very real thing. There's a reason why they constantly play commercials on the television. Why are they constantly trying to get you to spend your money on pointless crap, right? So that's what euphemisms, right? No, there's another one. I can't think of it. There is no shortage of information on him. New York Times did an expose on him back in '93. That's crazy that guy lives in Yonkers. He started this pedophile club. No wonder Ruros is here. I'm just saying. It makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. You have James Sertivo. You have, Dr. Andrew Beveridge was cool with those guys. You have Andrew Magnalia, whatever, the guy that was filming himself having sex, right, without telling the people he was having sex with. You had that boy, Phil Jalil, whatever his name is. I'm not saying he did it, but he was questioned and suspected to be involved in the death of 12-year-old Rosario Maldonado, the 12-year-old that was found decomposing on the side of the sawmill after he was sexually assaulted. Yonkers has a real problem with sexual pedophilia. Wow. I didn't even know. That's crazy. I'm about to go to the guy's house and tell him to get up out of Yonkers, man. Seriously, man. Anyway, folks, that's Yonkers. And that's why I put this information out, just to put it out there so you can see who are the individuals that are in charge of this city. They're cokeheads, alcoholics, womanizing, uneducated, evil individuals. 1,000%. 1,000%. And so some of the individuals that are elected officials that will take these photos with proclamations and all that other stuff and, do food drives and think that they're doing something for the community, actually sniffing cocaine, getting drunk out their mind, having affairs, have sex with prostitutes in front of officers. And I know that the police have reached out to me about this. Hey, I'm not going to tell you about you. You watch my show. Continue to watch because you don't care. You're not going to do nothing. You're not going to investigate it. They called me about that. I want to talk to you about the, that party thing you're talking about with the officer. Yeah, investigate it. I'm not an officer. I know this and you don't. Now you know about it. You just don't want me talking about it. But I'm going to talk about it because it's not illegal to put out information that's true. Right? It's not. And so, I'm not going to be threatened. I'm not going to be intimidated. I'm not. I know my rights. I have resources. And I'm not just limited to Yonkers. Okay? I know it's difficult when people want to get attorneys. They can't find an attorney that's going to help you against the city of Yonkers. That's sad. You attorneys out there should be ashamed of yourselves that you are so far up these individuals' asses that you can't just confidently represent anyone. You're scared? You're scared? But they want to win. They want to win their cases, right? He was like, yeah, 12-13, Martha. That's right. It makes perfect sense, Freddie. Pedophilia has been running rampant in the city since the 1950s. You hear that, folks? Watch your children. And that is why I put that information on Ruros. I know people say, oh, Freddie, when you go at the Ruros, you look sick. It's not about going after Ruros and trying to be looking silly. It's about the fact that this man enters our school buildings. This man is disgusting. He has a disgusting past. And our mayor would invite him into our school buildings. A man that says was molested when he was unsure. He doesn't remember what age he was. He was 11, 12, right? He doesn't remember what time either. The mayor said he was molested at 11 or 12 years old somewhere on some staircase and one time in the woods. Depends what day of the week he's telling the story. Yet and still, he engages in a man like Ruros, who has a documented history, child pornography in his computer. And what does the mayor do? He invites him into our school building. So does the mayor care about our safety? They're criticizing Dr. Q, right? The mayor and them, they criticize Dr. Q, but the mayor's bringing in a pedophile into the building. So the security officers aren't going to say nothing. He's with the mayor. He's good. As far as we're concerned. No, you're not. They're not good. But you have that false sense of hope or safety, security, because the mayor's there. Now, what kind of leadership is that, mayor? What kind of leadership is that? You want to get your information out? Find a reliable, source with integrity or outlet, platform with integrity. Doesn't have to be me. I'm not even care if it's me. Just saying. Or create one. Doesn't Yonkers have its, someone? And Akeem? Oh, he's not working for Yonkers anymore, right? So who's the? Oh, what's her name from News 12? Isn't she the communications person? Why doesn't she go out there with a camera? Or don't you have the Yonkers foodie guy? You mean you got all these people that you hire with cameras all over, but you still have Ruros come into the building? There's plenty of people to do it, Mayor. And it should be a dedicated channel, page, and everything, social media for Yonkers, where the people can get all the information that's important. But you don't have that. You want to invite this guy in. You rather give him the business because you know that if you give him the business, he will do things for you that you need him to do. Like attack certain people, put out false narratives, like so many people want the mayor for a fourth term. No, they don't. That's a lie. And they know that. Otherwise, they would have done a public referendum. I know I would have. If the people wanted me, do a public referendum. Let's show. That's even better. Look, they voted for me. See? I got nothing to defend now. But forever he will be defending that. Because he knows that the people of Yonkers, the majority, did not want to see the mayor for a fourth term. And they still don't. They still don't. But they have time for the Yonkers foodie dude. Right? They still don't. So that's a lie. People in the city of Yonkers do not want to see a mayor fourth term. A mayor fourth term means more buildings, more crowds, more people being pushed out of the city, higher rents, more traffic, overcrowded schools. That's all that means. That's it. Taller buildings to block the sunlight from the sidewalk. And that's true. It's true. I mean, look at New York City, right? You got a lot of streets down, you walk down them, it's all shade. There's no sun. We need sun, right? Like plants, we need sun, right? So you're gonna block a lot of sunlight coming into the city with all these tall buildings now. And what else is he doing? Yonkers like a death trap. You can't, only one way in, one way out from the downtown area where all those buildings are at. You have to go up to Ashburton. That's crazy. Nepperhan is crazy. Oh, where else are you gonna go? You're gonna go up Riverdale, up into the Bronx, So it's getting crazy. And that's all that, the mayor has done. And he's been here for 12 years. So I think that's enough. I think you had 12 years, mayor. You did whatever you think you did. Time to go. It's time to go. Why do you think that you deserve or should stay for another fourth term? Why does anyone think the mayor should be here for another 4 years? There's no reason for it. Unless you're afraid that if the mayor does not win, you will be out of a job. Is that what it is? How about this? We won't fire most of you, just some of you. Because I ain't going to, what do you say that? I ain't going to sugarcoat it. If I was to be mayor, I would fire some of you. I'm going to fire some of you. Point blank, period. And then we're going to see what's been going on there. Where has the money been going? What are these deals that have been made? Right? Where could we cut spending? Do we need this person as the director of directors of the directors making $200,000 a year? No, we don't need that person. Do we need this person here making another $150,000 a year as the assistant to the assistant of the assistants? No. We don't need that person. I can guarantee you that I would find you at least $10 million in savings. They are mismanaging this city, and it's time to end it. It's time to end it. I got enough. If they approved the 40-story building for AMS, knowing that Pagano said we do not have the equipment to fight a fire that high, then we will sue the city council once again. Absolutely. They don't. They never needed to fight a fire in a 40-story building before because there were none. We weren't New York City, and we don't want to be New York City. We don't want to be an extension of New York City. We don't want to be the sixth borough officially. If people want to come into Yonkers to live, cool. But let's not add a bunch of big buildings just to make it happen. We could have renovated and fixed the buildings that were already here that were owned by many of these slumlords that are cool with the administration. That's what we should have done. Give people decent places to live. Force these slumlords to sell their properties to people who are going to keep them, in good condition. They're going to maintain them. Because you know what? Many people have a point when they say, I didn't pay my rent because the condition the apartment was in. Because I've seen some apartments that I would never live in. Never have my kids in. I would rather live outside because it would be more healthy. Yet and still these landlords have been allowed to stay here in Yonkers and operate like the guy whose building blew up on 23 Palisades. I got all the pictures of that guy's building. The guy was a slumlord. Instead of blaming the tenants, why don't you go and blame the officials and say, hey, you got to fix this place up. Otherwise, I'm going to get crappy tenants and they're not going to pay their rent. So then I'm not going to fix my building. Because no good tenant is going to come there when the place is left like that. When the city doesn't care that there's a bunch of people just hanging around up and down Getty Square, smoking drugs, selling drugs. They don't stop and do anything about it. And look, you do your thing. I don't care. Just don't do it in front. I'm a business owner. Don't do it in front of the business. I had to tell kids from Saunders once, yo, don't smoke no weed in front of my daycare. I mean, I even have to tell you that. Do I? The fact that I have to tell you that shows where our kids are at these days. You want to smoke your weed? Cool. Just don't do it in front of the daycare, my man. And then he want to quickly get an attitude. I said, I stopped him dead in his tracks. I said, you don't know me, brother. And I don't know you. But you don't want to do that. I'm being nice to you. I'm just asking you to leave. And that's it. And he left. Not looking to get into a back and forth argument with people who are doing the wrong thing, right? But they don't care. They don't care. They want certain areas to get so bad that it gives them like people are like, oh yeah, you're doing such a great job, Mike Spano, because you're fixing something that was so horrible. But they let it get like that to begin with. They created the problem. So we can't praise them when they provide the solution. That's what they should have done. That's their obligation. That's their job, right? Civil servants don't change with administrations. Hispano loyalists holding up 4 more year signs are just worried about losing their OT. Oh no, they can change with the administrations. Trust me. Maybe that's not how it normally happens, but listen, you stealing time? Get out of here, right? You stealing time? Get out of here. It's not about you're getting legal OT. It's about you stealing OT. Okay, you're already getting excessive amounts of OT by this mayor just to keep you guys coming to meetings and stuff and making it appear a certain way, right? But then some of y'all are stealing more time. You're stealing my money. Yeah, that's my money because the mayor ain't paying you out of his pocket. Tommy Tieterman and Tom Meyer ain't paying you out of their pockets. They're paying you from the money we put into that pot. And you're stealing it. Hell no. That ain't cool. That's not okay. Definitely not okay. Yonkers is a city of slumlords, and they are all friends with the mayor. Of course. As long as they go to fundraisers and they write checks, mayor don't care what you do. You could have cocaine. You could have a dead body in your trunk. You literally could kill people and get away with it. Here in Yonkers, under this administration. Yeah. That's right. They are building the buildings without tinted windows. People can look into each other's apartment. I thought about it, but I didn't think they could really see. I did see someone that was, I guess you could put the shade down. But look, they cut corners. They're cutting corners. It's all about saving money as much as they can. But anyway, folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez. I'm just very passionate about creating change here in the city of Yonkers. Ride with me. This is a movement to create change. Like I said, we have to come out and vote for change. Otherwise, we're not going to see this end, right? And I just don't see why we wouldn't want to come out to vote for change. I just don't see why we wouldn't. Just don't see why everybody's not ready to come out and vote for change. And I like to hear people saying that I'm going to be involved this year. Me too. Like, I'm not saying I was always the most politically involved, because just it is what it was. I was like those people like, yo, they're going to do whatever they want, unless we're going to get in there and fight. And so now I'm ready to fight. And I don't mean that physically. I have to make sure I always say that. I mean, fight the right way, the legal way. We have to come out and voice our opinion, not be scared to confront these individuals and let them know we want you out. Yeah, we want you out. Okay. Whether you are out this year or not, just know that's how I feel. Okay. And I'm going to always feel that way. And I'm going to continue to work to get you out until you're out. That's it. I've been determined now to do this, and I'm on it. Like I said, should have just let me build my daycare centers, because I'm going to go. And the more you do to me, the more I'm going to come back to you. I promise you that. Okay? Because I have less to hide than you guys do. You have more to lose than I do. And so I'm ready to go all out. I'm Freddie Vasquez. It's time to vote for a real strong mayor. And I don't mean someone that just controls a city. I mean someone that stands up and leads the people to the promised land. I'm Freddie Vasquez, folks. Have a beautiful rest of the day. What beautiful weather, right? We had today. It starts at the local level. Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking about that today. It's not top down, it's bottom up, right? Because the change comes from us, and we are at the bottom. So we have to go up and make this change. So we start at the local level, then we make changes at the county, then we make changes at the state, then we go to the federal. That's how we have to do it, right? That's how we have, right? Because our local officials, they're like the city council to the president, right? They kind of hold up the federal government or the state, and then the state holds up the federal, right? It's all connected that way nowadays. So we have to start here and become active, become involved, share information, spread the word, and make sure you come out to vote and encourage others to do the same and have them vote for the right mayor. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. I appreciate it, folks. All politics are local. Yeah, true to a certain extent. Yeah. I don't think it's even the mayor. It's his cheerleaders. What do you mean by that? Oh, the mayor's definitely involved. I mean, he just kind of like tell me where to be maybe, but Spano, Vinny Spanos, Ahi Jarris, they're definitely very involved. And they, kind of dictate how politics goes here. I mean, they control a lot of the wards and district leaders. And so all you ward and district leaders, I got a list of you guys' names, right? I'm going to start looking into all of you. Do the right thing, all right? Do the right thing. I'm going to start blasting you guys too. You guys want to be on Basement Politics? Do the right thing.
Freddie win.
And you know what the Spanos are doing? They're setting up for a county. They want to get Christopher Johnson out. They're putting in Mark Fang, or they want to get Mark Fang in on the county. And they're going to slowly work to take control of the county seats over the next 4 years that Mayor Spano is in office, so they can then dominate at the county. He can become county executive. So that's what the plan is. I don't know if you care, Ken Jenkins, but that's the plan. The Spanos are coming to take over the county. This is their last year, but they're going to put a puppet in after. And, Spano, maybe it's Corazon, maybe it's John Rubo, I don't know. But listen, no disrespect, Corazon, but you're a part of it. You are. I mean, the way you were hanging all over Vinny at your event that night, I can't imagine you're not tied with them. I can't imagine you're not. I mean, if you were my wife, I would have been mad that you was like that with that man. Don't ever do that with another man. That's disrespectful to your husband, okay? And you put it out there. So if you guys want to say that Tasha Diaz spread the rumors, maybe, but you guys are making it hot, okay? Anyone with eyes can see that something a little too close there, okay? Too much attention that you were giving that man. Too much attention, right? Calling his wife on FaceTime at 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night while you all drunk on our song. Why would you do that? That's making it hot. It's like, women that want to take another woman's man, they'll try to befriend the woman, right? First, and just to get close to the husband. Like, I've seen this, right? And then they'll try to like slowly take the man, This is what they're going to FaceTime him. Why would you do that? Yo, that's crazy. I had to talk to you, man. Tell her to chill, man. It don't look right for you, right? I was trying to be a friend. I really was trying to be a friend. I guess you didn't want to be mine. But yeah, folks, I'm out of here. So I think my opinion, Corazon is not a choice. And to all you guys and organizations that are supporting her, right? Because you have this democratic organizations, this democratic infrastructure, as someone told me, that's supporting Corazon. That to me shows that you guys are full of crap because you don't vet your candidates right. Okay? You want me to, because I'm going to go after them. Oh, you better believe that. Working party, family line, and all that. You really ought to vet people better. Okay? You ought to vet people better. So if you're going to give Corazon the party line, it's not going to be a good look for you guys. It's not. You're giving a Spano a party line. Right? So I'm sorry to say, but that's just a fact. And people would say, Freddie, you never go after Corazon. Oh, they used to think that I was like supporting her. It's not even that. It's just that, I mean, it is what it is. I'm just, I talk about whoever I think it comes, this is what we got to talk about. It just, Corazon never really was on my radar too much. Now she wants to run for mayor. Sure, we're going to talk about Corazon now. Absolutely. We're going to dissect Corazon. We're going to dissect the heart. Right, like in science class, and we're going to see what she's really about. What has she done? If we vote her for mayor, will we see more drive-by shootings throughout the city now? I'm just saying. Will we see more 6-year-olds getting shot with straight bullets? I'm just saying. These are the things that have happened in her district in the past 2 years. Will we see more police officers being shot in bodegas if she becomes the mayor? Right? These are questions we have to ask. Will there be fire hydrants not working, broken all over Yonkers if she becomes mayor? Will there be trash, nasty liquid along the streets and sidewalks if she becomes mayor throughout Yonkers? Because that is how her district looks. I've gotten more done in her district since I've been talking about politics than she has. That's a fact. That's a fact. Fact. You want to challenge me, Corazon? Let's do it on Facebook. Fact. I'll debate any one of you. Let's debate. And if you win, whatever you want, I'll go away. I'll never do a show again. How about that? Any one of you, mayor, anyone of the council, please come on and debate me. If I lose, I will never do a podcast again. Never do a podcast again. I'll go away. Is that a deal? politicwithfred@gmail.com. And so again, to all you organizations, Democrats that are supporting Corazon, giving her your endorsements, you guys are no bueno, okay? No bueno, because you're not vetting your candidates correctly. You're not doing a good job, okay? And I'm going to show you why. Go ahead, endorse her, and I will show you why you should have not. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics, and I'm out of here. For real this time. I know. Thank you, folks. I appreciate it. Look, I want to see the city really do well. I don't want to see people getting voted in because they like this person. Oh, it's a Latina woman. Oh, it's a black woman. We're not playing identity politics. That has caused problems for us, okay? Now we have to vote based on the candidate that has been thoroughly vetted, that possesses the capability, the intellect to do the job, has demonstrated the ability to succeed and lead, be strong, and be willing to end the corruption. If you're not talking about ending the corruption in Yonkers and the nepotism, you are not the one that should be voted for mayor.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
In another one, Mr. Rumo lied to me. And I don't vote for a person that lied to me. Thank you very much.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
I want to end this quick because I'm greedy and I want somebody to butter chicken. So thank you.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddie Vasquez.
Folks, education is important. That's another thing. Any person wanting to become mayor must be dedicated to improving the educational system here in the city of Yonkers and have a true plan. Imagine fixing this school district up the way I envision it. Our kids will have an amazing experience, folks. That is important. We must focus on that. Please, get the word out. Basement Politics. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics, where truth lives and corruption dies.
Freddie wins. Fatality.